What's it all about?
Dude.
Welcome back to Day Rates
The show we talk about design.
and money.
Hey, that was pretty good. Professional.
You fucked it, but
Nice.
okay. This week we thought we'd drop acid before the episode.
So yeah, last week was a bit of a mess.
Still hungover, but it's okay.
But you know, this week we figured we'd pare it on back a little bit and talk some real biz.
Do a real one.
Do a real one. Joel did a shout out on our Insta story for some ideas for episodes.
Yes, I did. And
And
we got plenty of answers, so look for those episodes in the coming future because there was like a lot of good answers.
Yeah. But this week,
This week we decided to do hiring /
working with.
freelancers.
Yeah.
And so that was from Maxim, and his Instagram is here.
Oh,
Thanks for that, Maxim. So let's fucking talk about some freelancing shit.
let's do it, man. This is a real, I feel like pacing shift from last week. I need to get back into the spirit that we don't always just chug wine and eat aggressive amounts of cheese.
Yeah, I was about to throw my coffee or some shit.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it. Everything's covered in latte.
But yeah, I guess we've used a few freelancers in the past.
Yeah.
Some were all right, some were great, and some weren't so great.
Yeah. And it's probably a mix of things. Maybe some of them we didn't brief it properly. Mm-hmm. Some of them, maybe they weren't the perfect person for that job.
And sometimes we weren't, I think, hard enough or
Yeah, on the
business enough.
With the feedback and actually
Yeah.
getting what we need out of people.
We're just like, well, they fucked it, so that's it.
But when it works really well, it works like amazingly. It saves
Yeah.
you time. Ideally, you get to a point where you're hiring freelancers because they're adding something completely new to what you do. But
Yeah.
they're a specialist and they got a skill that you need. That's that sweet spot you want to be in. And we've had that once or twice and it's been great. So
I think that's when it works well. That you're right, because we've done it before. We're just like, we need someone who just knows how to use After Effects to do this shitty explainer that we don't want to do.
yeah, exactly.
Which is not the way to go.
Which is, I mean, you're only going to get junior animators for that stuff, I really think. And so you kind of get what you pay for. You need to give them a bit of time to fix the mistakes. Because if you don't want to do that kind of explainer, then there's probably a reason. It's probably the kind of thing you want to do when you're learning. So you got to give people a bit of leeway, but
Makes sense.
lessons learned. But yeah, there's a kind of few things we've learned from our experiences dealing with animators, designers, and all that kind of good stuff. So we figured we'd go through how we typically like to work with freelancers, and yeah, I guess kind of like what we plan to do ongoing, because we want to. Your boy's about to have a kid, and we're going to need to use more freelancers this year, and also we want to do some bigger projects, and that involves maybe more specialist 3D people, maybe more people that have like a passion for cell animation and stuff like that. So we need to figure out a good process to find the right people and do it properly.
Sounds good. All right, well, we've got a few little points we want to hit in this conversation, I guess. So let's get into it.
Point one.
Point one.
Picking the right person for the job.
Yes,
This is, I think, something we have fallen down on before,
we definitely have.
where, I don't know, we're kind of picking someone on the fly because we just need something done. We just need like more people on keyboards doing the stuff. Not people on like keyboards like... Yeah, we just need people like to help us out with the animation, and so we kind of made some rush choices, and I don't think we put some people in the best position. So learning that. Step one is to know where to find good freelancers, which if you're a good freelancer, just put your shit in the comments. Just find them here.
Yeah, let us know, because if you fucking want some work.
Yeah. But otherwise too, I mean, it's like there's find a finder's fee, which we use.
I think we use that literally every time, which is a Facebook page.
Because it's really good. Like you get a lot of creatives there. So even if they're not an animator or something, they'll tag someone. So that's been really good. There's sites like The Loop. There are like specific animation job boards out there and design job boards and stuff like that. It really depends the scale of the job. I guess if you're getting someone for one day, it feels like a bit of an investment to put up a proper ad somewhere.
Yeah.
So there's probably some great animation groups around. So definitely take a look at those.
I think we've had an issue before too, because we're only a small studio, and I mean, we've done some good work as of late, but before that we just had like some standard kind of explainers and that sort of shit.
Oh yeah. So we weren't attracting the best talent.
We weren't exactly right. Like, and we've hired some pretty good like illustrators in the past and animators and stuff, but I think maybe they didn't give us their best work because it just felt like another explainer type thing. But
yeah, because like if you work for, there's media companies. I'm sorry, this coffee's dripping everywhere. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think that's probably right. I guess we've all had those moments where you have your exciting jobs lined up, and then you kind of do some pieces. Maybe it's for a studio that doesn't really respect design and animation as much. They just need someone to make some type move in, and you don't really care as much about it. So
exactly.
I think when you're briefing people and picking people, it's important to get some buy-in to the job so they feel like they understand what their work's doing in it. They get some excitement about what they can do with it. They know that they have freedom to do good work, and stuff like, oh, you can use this in your portfolio at the end. That's probably really good to get the good work out of people.
That's true.
Because, I think, you don't want to be the freelancer that's just always behind the scenes and you can't use anything. It doesn't help your career. So I think as studios, it's quite important to be transparent and say, this person worked on this, and if they want to use it, they can as well, because that's their efforts. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I hate when we have to do a job and aren't allowed to do anything with it.
Yeah, because even as a studio, we do so much for agencies and we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
And so we can't use it on a reel. That's why your reel gets a bit bare bones, even if you've done good work.
Oh, yeah, I fucking hate that so much.
But that's got to be a struggle for everyone, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, because we did, like, all those Nike ads and McDonald's jobs, like, the big ones.
Yeah,
and shit.
like Apple.
Apple was...
IBM came through and we were just like, a bit old school. But
that does not happen. None of that was true at all.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So, yeah, I guess once you find the right freelancer, Miles...
Yeah, step one is probably... I think it's important to bring up the money up front and figure out what their rates are.
Yeah.
The way we typically work with freelancers is we don't haggle on rates. If we need someone, especially now, we don't really hire people as much to just like help us get something done. It's more we'll hire someone because we're excited about something. Like, we want to use a sound designer for this, so it would be great to see how someone else would approach these style frames or something like that. So we know that we're going to have to invest in that. So for us, it's if that person's really expensive and we can't afford it, then that means we can't afford it. That means they need that money and that time to do a good job, and that's totally fine. You don't want to try to haggle people down on their rate, I don't think.
Yeah.
So just accept what they tell you. If they tell you their rate's something, think about it, and if you can make the commitment to that rate, then just do it. Trust them to do good work for their money.
Yeah, I would never try to haggle. Or I would, if that's your rate, that's your rate. And if we can't afford it, we can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
Because we get a lot of clients come through that do haggle with us. Sometimes we're flexible, but then it does put the job in a certain bucket in our minds.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, oh, you got to get this job done pretty quickly because you're not going to make your full dollar on it. And then that's always like that terrible spot you get in where clients pushing you for extra edits and extra stuff and they haven't paid you your full rate. It's really easy to get into a position where you resent them for it. Yeah. So we never want to be that as a studio. We like the people we work with to actually enjoy working with us. It's really important. Because it's not like if you're watching this and you do animation, there's lots of great animators out there, but the industry thinks there's a shortage, I feel like. People come to us because they don't know where to get this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the deal with that?
And as a studio too, when we find someone good, like we want to keep that relationship good because, you got to look after good people. That's the hardest part of this job, I think. Is getting consistent good work out of people and then you delivering consistent good work. It's the hardest fucking thing. So,
but you're right. I feel like it's so this industry is so oversaturated with people now. Like,
yeah, I guess
I don't know why it's so hard for these agencies to find people.
Yeah, I think maybe most people aren't great at getting themselves out there as much.
Okay, makes sense.
Because, we're all, I don't know, we like being behind a computer and doing the art, and then it's hard to go do the sales. So I think it's a bit of that.
True.
But I don't know. There's a huge demand as well. So, like everyone's on a screen all the time. Every brand knows that they can't do a normal ad the way they used to. They have to constantly hit people with weird shit. So while there's a lot more people in the industry, and we're part of that wave of like this new batch of kind of kids that were just learning it on their own and just, this is my job now. Yeah. And call yourself qualified. But there's a huge demand as well. So there's work out there. And if you're a good freelancer and we're working with you, we want to keep that relationship going, basically. Like we need to lock down good people for the long term. So for sure. Yeah, don't fuck with their rate. Don't frick with their frickin' fudging rate. Don't fudge their rates. Another thing that goes with rates, though, kind of rates bleeds into upfront figuring out what conditions they need to work well. So step one of that is pay them correctly. But then step two is how much time do they need? Do they quote by project so that they can fully understand everything and spend a few days on it? Or do they do it on a day rate basis? Do they like to work from a home office, or is it better if they're in the studio with you? Yeah. These are things you need to work out with them. It's okay for you to have preferences too. Like I think these days, sometimes we want someone to be in the studio with us. I think that's totally fine,
I mean, if they're getting paid anyway, I don't think they'll have if they're local, I don't think they'll have a problem coming in.
No, exactly.
And I mean, I guess that's a trial and error thing too. You can't really, I mean, if it doesn't really go super well the first time and they were working from home, maybe it's like, give them another shot in the office or something like.
Because I mean, especially if it's your first few times hiring freelancers or something like that, you're going to get things wrong. You're going to brief it incorrectly. And part of that's your issue. It's not like the freelancer necessarily fucked up.
Yeah.
Fricked up.
And that's the thing. We don't really have like a solid process for this sort of shit.
No.
We don't. We're still figuring that out. We're still learning.
Yeah, like we don't have a solid briefing document to give to people yet.
Nope.
So every time we get a job, we actually, if we're going to use a freelancer, we spend a lot of time trying to lay everything out, but we don't have a set process. Every time it's kind of custom. We have to figure that stuff out, and it takes a long time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's really important too. Like brief them properly and find out what they need to do a good job. Because I mean, there's no point if you hire someone and you don't give them the right conditions and you don't pay them enough and you haven't briefed them properly, you're going to get okay work. You probably could have just done it yourself with all that effort you put into finding someone and hiring them. And it's better find a good person and give them room to do a good job of it. Basically, yeah.
Because that was an issue we had before too, where in the end, like we would hire a freelancer, not do it correctly. That was probably our fault.
Yeah.
And then we would get subpar work and then spend like a couple of times we had to like redo projects.
Yeah.
Which is just like we hired you to save time and now it's like tripled the fucking time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like,
we had to find someone, we had to brief them. We clearly didn't brief them correctly. The work wasn't where we wanted it to be, and then we have to do it from scratch. So it's like that's not where you want to be with it.
Yeah.
But that comes to also like who are you hiring? Like kind of links back to that first thing. I remember there was shout out the future every week.
Future
of my wife.
Hannah, yeah.
My future with my wife. Yeah, but I remember Matthew and Sina did this like little video about the different kind of levels of designer and what you expect to get. So a junior designer, they're not going to charge as much, and it's okay to you should be hiring junior designers for things, but know that you're going to need to have 2 days set aside, because if it's a midweight designer, they could handle it well within a day. If they're junior, they might make some mistakes on the first day, but that's why they charge less, so you can hire them for a second day to then fix those mistakes.
True.
Right? I think in the past, we might have hired some people that were a bit junior. Their rates were quite attractive, and we thought, let's give it a go. And then we didn't have that budget to then bring them back for that second day and be like, this was really good. This could have been updated. So that's part of it as well.
I didn't even think about that. That's very true. Because that's happened like every time.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like we know that was a studio. We tried new things. Like right now I'm doing some 3D bits and pieces that are a little outside of our wheelhouse. And I know that I'm going to have to charge fairly cheaply for what it is and put in the extra time to fix it. So, everyone goes through a journey with that. Junior freelancers, it's totally fine to freelance if you're a bit of a junior designer. Just, accept that it's still a bit of a learning process, and hopefully some studios will pick you up and give you that time to fix things and work with you. So
makes sense.
But yeah.
Yeah, because we never going to the next thing about like the edits.
Edits, yeah.
Like we would just do the edits, right? And I feel like everyone in this industry as well, or like most people have so many different ways of like setting up a project file, or whatever, or just using different skills at like expressions or whatever that we don't usually use, or So it's like it's probably pretty important to get the freelancer involved in the editing, in the edits process.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
in the past, we'd be like, we need the first draft of them. We'll do the tidy up.
Exactly, it's not a good way to do it. It
doesn't work. And also, like if they're a creative person, the editing process at its best is making things better in each iteration. Yeah. So if they want to use it on their reel and they want to be a part of that, they really want to be a part of this project, then it is important to give them the opportunity to also workshop what they've done. You know? So, yeah.
We're learning a lot, Miles.
We're learning a lot. Yeah, because I mean, this kind of episode for us, it's almost like brainstorming how we know we should be dealing with freelancers, because this year will be the year where we use a lot more, I think. Yeah. Just by the nature of we want to grow what we do, but it doesn't make sense for us to hire lots of in-house staff right now. It's much better for us to start figuring out these good working relationships with people that are really good at what they do. Yeah. So yeah,
that'll even help us just like learn to work with people better.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of in preparation to actually hire someone down the line, I guess.
Yeah, true. So we're not just like terrible managers again and just like,
this is your desk.
Yeah, enjoy. But yeah, I mean, we've kind of gone through some of that experience. Like we've managed people, and I've done it poorly before, and a lot of that's not being clear with what you need. Like brief people properly, be really transparent with what you need. And yeah, it's totally fine to have edits with things. Like you're not a dickhead as the studio if you need to go back to a freelancer and say, all right, this stuff needs some changing. Just be honest with them about what needs to happen, and make sure that you're not putting them in some bind where they're like, oh, you have 1 hour to fix it. Give them time to fix it. Like you would need time if someone gave you edits, so give them the right time to do it as well, basically. Yeah. And pay them for that time. probably important.
Because we've done it before as well, where we would need some edits from a freelancer that done some stuff, and like maybe you're too nice in the email, or like just not hard enough and clear enough. You're not clear enough. But you still you need to find that balance between like, hey, looks great.
Yeah.
And then like, have some edits, but just be like clear about your fucking edits, because, I know I've done this where I've like given someone some edits and then I wasn't clear enough and it came back still like maybe even worse. And I was like, fuck, I better fix this up now myself.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's like a breakdown of that whole communication.
Yeah.
It is important. I think because if it's really hard, if you're just like from a management background or you're from the account side and you start hiring freelancers, it's probably easier because you don't understand the other side of it when you're getting the edits. But if you're a studio that's run by people that are doing the work, I find it really difficult to hire people because I really do worry about hurting someone's feelings with something. Yeah. Or, I'm going to send them some email and they'll think I'm that dickhead client. I don't want to be that.
Yeah, we are probably the dickhead client.
Yeah, exactly. There's some people they're like, oh, those fucking assholes, Those freaking mother fathers. But like, I don't know. We have some clients that give us feedback on things and I don't begrudge them for it. And it's because they do just start with this is great. Give them the old compliment sandwich. Be like, I really do love these elements of it. This one I think we could do. Like, just give them your idea. Be clear about what you want to see, That's an art in itself, eh? Yeah. Account management. Like, it actually is a job.
Yeah, man.
You
don't think so, eh? It's like...
Yeah. It's so easy to sit on, like, your creative throne being like, puh, there's other people that don't move the pixels. But then, like, they're these fucking wizards that are dealing with all this people bullshit and then actually not causing fights every time they get something done.
Dude.
Because we're some salty designers, I take shit really hard when 100%. I shouldn't. And
yeah, you're the worst. I'm so good there. Like,
Joel's very chill. Final tip?
Final tip, yeah.
This one is, this has been kind of like our little secret weapon as a studio because we've worked with clients that drag on payments and you've done the work and it's like a month later and then you finally get paid. And psychologically that messes you up. So when we deal with freelancers, we try to pay them like the moment we get the invoice, the moment they send it through, we'll just pay it right away.
Yeah.
I think this is really important, especially if you're dealing with junior animators or junior designers, because a lot of them are living really paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Like when you're at the start of your career, you're not getting much work. And people really, really appreciate that, getting paid right away. They will prioritize you next time over other jobs because they know this is going to land in my account right away. Yeah. So huge tip, just fucking do that. Pay bill.
Yeah, because honestly, if I was like starting out as a motion designer and you'd get some jobs with like some big corporate client or some shit like that, and they didn't pay me for ages, that would like make me question what I was doing for a living. Yeah. Honestly, because like, I don't know, when I was younger, man, I was terrible with money and shit. Like,
how do you weather these storms?
Dude, I'd have to be living with my parents and shit. Like, you know what I mean? No offense.
Everyone's living with their parents these days. Yeah.
But yeah, so that would have fucked me up a lot. So I understand that, and I think that's good of you to do that all the time. Pay people straight away. I think that's super important.
Well, because once you're more established, you can weather like we get payment dates from our clients that's 90 days.
Ridiculous.
Which is crazy, but that's like a lot of corporates will give you a 90-day payment period.
Fuck, like why? I don't get it. We probably will do an episode later on. Once we've used a bunch of freelancers, I think we should revisit this and maybe if we have like a solid structured process later on, we should revisit this episode and then just like tell you guys how it's going.
Lay that out, yeah.
Yeah, tell you how we do it. I think that'd be a good idea.
I think too, this would be like, we should probably put this out on our Insta as well, but it would be interesting to hear from actual freelancers, what is your dream situation? What's your ideal way of working? And where do you typically get found as well? Like, where should we look for you? Because as a freelancer, you got to be proactive. You got to be sending emails to get found. But I'm sure there's great places to search people that we're not using currently. So that would be really interesting.
I think that was actually another question that someone had asked from that survey.
Is where to find.
Or basically where to share your work to get found.
Okay, that's a good episode.
Another good one. It's a good episode. Won't do it just yet because that's
a big one on its own. Anyway.
Honestly, I won't even get into it. But anyway.
Yeah, sweet. Should we end the episode the way we always end it?
Yes.
Family Fun Design Corner.
Okay, today we have Adrien Ghenassia. Hope I said that right.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, this guy is an illustrator and an animator. Does fantastic 2D work. A lot of character stuff.
Looks very nice.
Yeah, I like this style. I know there's a few people that do this kind of style, but this seems, really unique. Like you would know this is his work straight away by looking at it.
Yeah, he's got his like specific face style on a lot of these, which is really cool. It's like nice and minimal, and the proportions on the characters are very interesting as well, which is cool.
100%. And
also, this guy's crushing it at keeping like a really consistent gram that looks just really nice.
I can't do this.
I can't do this either.
Super good at colors, really pastel palettes a lot of the time.
I'm always impressed by people that consistently do like a simple style like this, but like build something like out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's very clearly showing the depth to this style, because you could just do it simply and do one throwaway character and be like, all right, on to the next thing. But if you actually stick with something and keep at it and work on color palettes and interesting compositions and interesting character types, like he gets so much out of this. So
yeah, man, this is the stuff I'm like really into as well. Like I always lean towards this sort of shit, although I do the exact opposite of that. I'll do exactly what you said. I'll do like one character and be like, all right, I did that character, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, you really got to spend some time building it out. I'm sure this guy could just easily be like, think of something and just knock out a character like super quick. He's like so good at it.
Yeah, but also too, it's like, when you do your first one, you think you've got the style, like you could try to imitate this, and you do one that you'd feel like, that's roughly the same. But then if you did another 20, you'd look back at that one and be like, oh, that was really bad comparatively.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these simple styles require a lot of refinement to actually get right. So
like there's like, he puts like some shadows on some stuff and like stroke in the perfect places. Like, you know, when you just have like one little stroke just to like define a certain area, like he really nails that sort of stuff. Yeah. So shout out to Adrien Ghenassia.
You've been cornered. Sweet. I think it went pretty well.
That was a good episode. Thanks again to Maxim for the episode idea.
Yeah.
Like we said, we've got like a bunch of answers and like so many of them were really good. So we'll get to those eventually and we'll shout you out as well. So
we're not doing any more research or planning ourselves.
No.
Obviously the show was so well researched before.
Oh yeah.
Planned out. So now we're just going to put basic questions on Instagram and let you guys do the work. I think. Yeah.
But yeah, so thanks for joining us on Day Rates.
What?
But yeah, we'll just end our episode with our classic catchphrase.
Soggy, soggy, up comes the froggy.